This year, we planted enough to feed us all winter long. Now let's face it, food prices are never gonna go back down. This is how my family of 5 is fighting back. Trying to anyways. We'll see how it goes. We have 4 varieties of peppers growing right now. We have 2 of each kind. We have pepperoncinis. We have sweet banana peppers. We have another sweet banana pepper, but a sweet sunset. And then we have green peppers. I just planted these peppers about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they're already starting to flower and bush out, which is great. I already know that the majority of my green peppers are going to be used to chop up with some onions and make a homemade pepper onion mix that I could use every morning with my eggs. And all of my banana peppers and pepperoncinis I'm going to can up to use on Mississippi roast. We have toppings for salads, toppings for pizzas, just eat them straight out of the jar because we're human around here. So we're looking forward to that. We just finished building our trellis for our green beans, I think yesterday. We're growing Trail of Cherokee green beans here in our backyard all along the side of this cattle panel trellis line. We have 103 growing, and what's cool about these green beans is they're dual purpose. So yes, they grow, you eat them fresh, you can can them. And also we're gonna let the second half of them dry out on the vines to where we can shell them and have dried beans for winter storage. And some of those beans we're gonna save to replant next year to where we never have to buy green bean seeds again. Crazy. We did just plant them last weekend, but it's gonna be so cool to watch them vine up and totally take over both of these cattle panel trellises. I cannot wait. Our carrots are getting so freaking big. I'm so excited. Last year we tried to grow carrots and they literally were like itty bitty. Like they were ridiculously small. Like they honestly didn't even get to like a third of this size. So what we did differently this year is we actually thinned them, which sounds ridiculous, but if you've never grown carrots before, how do you know? So as soon as I thinned them for the second time, they instantly just got so much bigger. So they have enough room to grow now, and I really think that we're gonna do really good on these carrots. So I have 89 Danver half-long carrots in this bed. Don't come at me for how they're spaced. Don't come at me for how they're spaced. I am a new gardener. Next year, for sure, I am gonna tighten up these rows a bit to where I can grow probably double the amount in this one bed. I actually had a dream like 2 or 3 nights ago that I grew the biggest carrots, and I've sent a bunch of selfies to my coworker because I was proud of how big my carrots were. Another game that we're winning this year is the broccoli game. Last year we didn't get any broccoli at all because the stupid cabbage moths came and laid their eggs and ate our plants. Not once, ate them once, completely destroyed the plant. We just let it sit there. The plant started regrowing, and again, second time, cabbage moths came and ate the entire plant. But this year we put these laundry bags over our plants to protect them to where the cabbage moths couldn't lay their eggs on our plants. And so far, 5 out of 6 of our broccolis are broccoliing. Would you look at that? I am just so in love with it. So in love with this little freaking broccoli plant. And like I said, 5 out of 6 of these plants all have heads of broccoli growing. So I just feel like I'm winning. We planted 6 heritage red raspberry plants, and 4 out of 6 are doing pretty decent. The other 2 are kind of struggling, but that's all right. The majority of our raspberries are going to be used for jam and smoothies. The plants are already spreading. I'm really hoping that come next year or the year after, this whole bed is just full of raspberries. For the longest time, I thought our blueberry plants were struggling. I think maybe they just took a while to wake up because I planted them and they were in dormancy. Maybe they just need a little bit of extra time, but all of them besides one are starting to get leaves, and I feel like that's a great sign. My son can eat an entire pint of blueberries in one sitting, so I feel like if we can figure out the blueberry patch, it's definitely gonna save us some money. I didn't have anything growing in this bed, so I just sprinkled in some spinach and some lettuce. I'm about to pull that because they're not really growing much anymore, so I'm probably only gonna have enough lettuce for like one decent sized salad, The spinach is gonna go straight to the chickens. But I need this bed to clear out because it's almost cucumber time. It is cucumber time. I already planted a few of them, and we just need to build one trellis for the cucumbers to climb. I'm gonna have cucumbers in this bed and make a bunch of pickles this summer. Here's just a few of my cucumbers that decided to come up. I had to put this little wire on it because my cucumbers kept disappearing, so I am almost certain birds keep coming down and picking the little seedlings, so I put that up until they get a little bit more established. It is almost time to harvest my garlic. The little scapes came. They're in the, like I need to come back here and cut all of the scapes off, like ASAP, like right after this video. What's really cool about garlic is if you save part of your harvest, you can just replant them come fall time and you never have to buy garlic to plant ever again. Well, where there's good, there's bad. In my same bed as my garlic, I have 75 yellow Parma onions, and I don't know if they just got knocked over with the wind. I don't know if they got knocked over because of a bunny that maybe got in here, but I was told that they'll re-stand themselves up after they start bulbing, so we're just gonna keep waiting. We're gonna have faith that that's what's gonna happen. In this bed over here, I have 2 zucchini plants, one in each corner, and they're just little itty bitty zucchinis so far. This one doesn't really look too great. Something got the leaves, but it is what it is. I am so hoping that my zucchini gives me as much as people complain about online, because I really want to try that zucchini pineapple trick where you can it in whatever kind of brine and let it sit for a little bit and it tastes just like pineapple. I don't see how a zucchini can taste like pineapple, but I believe everybody because everybody has the same reaction. And I finally found my sweet potatoes. 2 of them don't look like they grew at all since I planted them. However, this one is taking off, and those ones down there are taking off, so I have hope. These were not the variety I wanted. I really wanted to get Vardaman, but I could only find the Bureau Guard, or however you say it, at the nursery by me, so it is what it is. Next year, maybe I'll make it out to Amish country to Berlin Seeds and get the variety that I really want to try. We also planted 3 butternut squash down here. I'm gonna pluck one of these out. The 2 down here haven't popped up yet, but I'm gonna have 3 total in this bed, and they're gonna vine all the way up the cattle panel trellis, and I cannot freaking wait. Now I hear that butternut squash makes a better pumpkin pie than pumpkins do, so that is absolutely the first thing I'm gonna try with a butternut squash, is making a homemade pumpkin pie. I do have peas growing. I'm not expecting anything from them. I didn't get anything last year. I probably won't get anything this year. We do need to put up a trellis though, so they can at least have a chance to climb and produce something. I do have a small little herb bed with some oregano, some rosemary, and some thyme. And right next to it, I have 14 Eversweet Everbearing strawberry plants, and I have about like 8 onions growing in here. I did pick off a bunch of the strawberry flowers just yesterday, which hurt a ton, but it'll be all right. Some of them I saved because they already had berries on them. I just ate my first homegrown strawberry yesterday, and although it was little itty bitty, it was still so sweet and so yummy, and I hope that I get a ton of strawberries this summer. All right, the thing that's gonna save us the most money, and the thing that I stress about in each video, I feel, is definitely our potato patch. If you can grow just one thing to feed your family, please let it be potatoes. They're so easy to grow. They'll grow in anything. You can get an old Amazon box and throw some potato seeds in there. It will freaking grow. You can make potatoes in so many different ways. I just can't wrap my head around why this is only my 2nd year growing potatoes. Where have I been my last 29 years? Anyways, I have 150 potato plants growing. On the very low end, if each plant just gives me 1.5 pounds, that's still over 200 pounds of potatoes, and that's if soil sucks, that's if I don't water consistent, that's if I don't hill. I mean, I was out here for probably a total of 4 hours over the last couple of days just hilling up my potatoes. I'm taking good care of my potato plants to where I can't imagine that each plant would only give me 1.5 pounds. So I'm really looking at a couple 100 pounds of potatoes here in my backyard. I'm planning on preserving half of my potatoes, making like French fries, hash browns, breakfast potatoes with. The other half I'm gonna just keep as whole potatoes and put them in my cold room downstairs in my basement. It's not really a cold room, but I don't know what else to call it, my pantry room. And we'll see how long they last down there this summer. But like I said, if there's one thing I'm gonna take extra good care of this summer, it's gonna be all of my potatoes, because it's gonna save my family the most money and it's gonna feed us the most amount of calories. I guess the last thing I have growing here are all of my tomatoes. This one here is just gonna be a complete monster. I already know it. We're growing Hungarian heart tomatoes, and in this 20-foot bed, we have 14 lined up. We also have 5 in my driveway in containers. I honestly think those are gonna do better than these ones back here. But we're growing heirloom tomatoes so we could save the seeds for next year. My husband has a big thing where he wants to grow nothing but heirloom, to where we could save the seeds and break the cycle of constantly having to spend money to regrow our food. This way, if we save our seeds, we don't have to depend on stores or the government or yada, yada, yada. But we are planning on making all of our own sauces, all of our ketchup, barbecue sauce, salsa, pizza sauce, marinara sauce. In fact, just last night we made homemade pizzas and all of the kids loved them. Me and my husband loved them. And the kids actually requested to have it again today. So we're about to go inside and make more homemade pizzas, homemade dough, you know. My son said it was better than Romeo's. So that really perked up my spirits a bit. And that's not even with homemade pizza sauce. So by the end of summer, when I'm making all of my homemade sauces, I cannot wait to make homemade pizza with the homemade crust, homemade pizza sauce. I cannot wait. So that's the majority of what we have growing here in our backyard. I guess I should add that we do have 15 hens here in our backyard, and we're getting a dozen eggs a day. It's insane how many eggs we get. And we are trying different recipes out. Like I tried a quiche for the first time and I absolutely love it. I would highly suggest trying quiches. And we just have so many eggs that I'm about to go make homemade breakfast burritos and store them in the freezer so me and my husband have quick, easy breakfasts to just heat up and go. There's really just something so special about coming back here to the coop every day and getting fresh eggs. And it's just so, I don't know, it just feels so good. Unfortunately, nothing's ready to be harvested yet, but if you want to see how much we're able to grow and produce from right here in our backyard, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We like having new people here on our journey with us. Even having a small backyard can make a huge difference in your food budget if you just try. Oh, thank you, Kate. Moment of truth. So good. Thanks for hanging out with us here in our backyard today. If you want to see more of our journey, we're putting a video up in the corner of the screen we think you'll love. Stay blessed, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one.